Have you ever wondered what in the world is exactly happening in gaming today? I don't know about you, but it seems that a lot of video games have gotten pretty soft these days. Somewhere along the path of video game evolution, developers completely lost touch to what the people want, which is a game to be a game for the sake of being a game, and a badass one at that. I'm pretty sure somebody notable in history probably said that at some point. In a world filled with overly complicated narratives, lame, uninteresting characters, and women that are made to look more like men, it has left me yearning for more of those adrenaline-pumping, Doom-esque, manly video games. Games that don't give a fuck about your feelings and are completely unapologetic. Unfortunately, the new Doom doesn't come out until 2025. I mean, people are asking for these types of games, and it's unfortunate. I mean, why can't they just release a game that just...
That's what I'm talking about!
Space Marine 2 has spearheaded the movement back towards a type of game that we gamers have been starved of for way too long. It is the manliest, bloodiest, testosterone-fueled game that I have played in quite some time. Now, when I say manly games, it doesn't mean that there aren't great female leads in action games. Lara Croft and Ellie certainly hold their own as some of my favorite protagonists in gaming. However, it just so happens that Space Marine 2, as well as other games I'm going to mention in this video, consist of mainly male leads, specifically ones that look like this. I mean, if manly isn't the first word that comes to mind when you see this, then we may have not played the same game. So calm down, everybody. Just because extremely manly men is the focal point of the video doesn't mean that I hate having women in games or something. Let's just face the facts here. There's been a cultural shift in the gaming world. It seems that many new releases these days, Ubisoft releases, have to check some sort of boxes. Did you know that if you say that this isn't an accurate historical representation of a samurai, then you're a racist? Thank you, Ubisoft, for exposing me as a, quote, non-decent human. Actual quote from the Ubisoft director. Such a focus on these external topics is what leaves an opening for the extremely refreshing experience that Space Marine 2 offers. A game that completely neglects everything that the modern gaming industry is desperately pushing for. I don't think we realized how hungry we were for an old school feeling, unapologetic video game, and that's exactly what Space Marine 2 is. It simultaneously feels old, but also new and refreshing. I know it sounds strange to call a game old and have it be a positive, just goes to show that sometimes going back to the basics is all we really wanted. What are the basics exactly? Well, it's something along the lines of talk less and kill more. When you see seemingly thousands of enemy Tyranids sprinting towards you, you're not thinking, wait a second. Has Captain Titus been politically correct enough for my liking throughout the course of this video game? Instead, we are faced with a raging war that shoves the player directly into it, and you really feel what's at stake. There's something about a game with large hulking dudes in armor that have a common enemy to fight. That setup alone has led to some of the best games out there. The staggering success of Helldivers 2 in early 2024 was no coincidence. The deep connection and nostalgia that so many of us feel to the Gears of War franchise, it's there for a reason. Not to mention how iconic the Doom guy has been for how many decades now? He doesn't even talk, but everybody loves him.
I love you.
It all just makes sense. In Space Marine 2, your goal is to not only shred through thousands of enemy Tyranids in the most brutal way possible, but the main objective is to win the war. Just ask Tom Hanks here.
Our objective is to win the war.
Thank you, Tom. Remember Helldivers 2 at its peak and everyone and their mother adopted the phrase, "for democracy"? Well, now it's "for the Emperor." Because if you don't scream it while playing Space Marine 2, then you're a heretic. Are we seeing the common trend here as to why games like this resonate so highly with the players? These are games where the only real narrative is to win against the bad guy, and once you do, it feels rewarding. These are games where you could get your quick fix and move on if you wanted to. I know it sounds like a simple concept, but it's insane how overlooked this is nowadays. So many games are trying to live forever and follow in the footsteps of the almighty Fortnite, when in reality, that's what's actually shooting them in the foot.
Ow! Oh, we are in so much pain right now, the two of us. Oh, ow! Ow, okay, that was real!
The first 3 Gears of War campaigns are incredible and were a major part of my childhood. They weren't overly long live service type games, and they didn't have some sort of ridiculous agenda or message to tell. They were completely unapologetic within their game design and narrative. The agenda was basically, motherfucker, these aliens just emerged from the center of the earth and they're about to chainsaw you. So you better chainsaw them first, bitch. The themes found in Gears coincide with the ones found in Space Marine: brotherhood, stoicism, and comically large men. It reminds me of the glory days of the Xbox 360, when they were constantly churning out original games and high quality experiences like this. Back when you would see a ton of over-the-top original action games on the shelf at your local GameStop. I have vivid memories of seeing the 2006 original Xbox game Black sitting on the shelf at GameStop. To this day, I have never played that game. I don't even know what it's about, but I remember seeing it on the shelf and thinking, that game must be badass. Space Marine 2 is that game on the shelf at GameStop in 2024. Now it doesn't even make sense to own an Xbox. Here you go, Sony. Take the rights to the few good exclusive games we have left. Anyways, it's a topic for a whole nother video. The gameplay, as well as the spectacle of the gameplay, the sights and sounds, it's what makes these old school feeling games like Space Marine 2 really shine through. The gameplay in Space Marine 2 is violent. It's quick and fun, and it feels nostalgic. There's also plenty of mechanics to learn, like parrying and meleeing with over-the-top melee combos and weapons. The guns are also so varied, and there's a lot of unique ones. Maybe you feel like unloading on hordes of Tyranids with the bolt gun, or melting through them with the melt-a-gun.
That's a lot of damage.
Or sometimes you're left just swinging and praying, which you'll find yourself doing quite a lot in this. The melee weapons, such as the power sword, are just a bloody good time, quite literally. The firefights are also extremely intense and also hard, even on the 3rd highest difficulty out of 4. It's not just mindless shooting and swinging either. There's coordination involved if you're playing with 1 or 2 friends, which I highly would recommend. The scale of the battles in this game is what stands out the most while fighting. So many times I was stopped in my tracks, staring at the crazy views and the amount of enemies on screen, thinking, I gotta get in there? It's insane just how many enemies at once are on screen in this game. Tyranids scaling the walls, climbing over one another with the sole purpose of tearing you apart. And they're successful a lot of the time if you're on a higher difficulty. Oh, I'm dead. No way. Okay. No! Oh my God.
Please don't tell me.
I died.
Oh.
The environmental design, even when you're in enclosed spaces, really stand out too. The base that you walk around in between missions is so detailed and beautiful looking. It really is an amazing looking game. That doesn't mean that I don't have some problems with frame drops. My PC can only handle too many thousands of Tyranids at once. I kinda need a newer graphics card because mine is probably toast after playing this game. Everything about Space Marine 2 is a perfect blend of the games that don't care about selling you anything other than a good time killing hordes of alien creatures. Or demons? Can't forget about you, Doom guy. It also has such deep lore that I am now fascinated by. About 40 years of lore. Boy, have I been sleeping on the world of Warhammer 40k, but now I must know more. The game doesn't apologize for anything. It doesn't shy away from the themes of masculinity and brotherhood that so many modern developers avoid like the plague. It has the over-the-top action of killing endless hordes found in Helldivers. It has those dark undertones of war and brotherhood found in Gears of War, and it focuses a lot of its gameplay on grittiness and flashy executions, similar to what we see in the modern Doom games. You can't forget about those sweet executions.
Yeah, fuck that thing.
Oh
Big
shit!
fuck phase for the Emperor, baby.
Oh my god. It just feels like we can't have more than enough of these types of games. The ones that remind me of that golden era of the Xbox 360. They're bringing back the Gears of War franchise soon, which I'm super excited about, as well as Doom: The Dark Ages. We all know that game is going to be sick. The Doom guy has a fur coat and a gun that shoots grounded up skulls. What more could you ask for? Let me know how you feel about Space Marine 2 and other games that I've mentioned in this video. For the Emperor.